All right, guys, in part 3, I'm going to focus on just composition of functions and operation with functions, which is going to include some tables, some graphs, and even doing some work with functions. If you remember from our Quizlights that we did for review after Thanksgiving, the Quizlight on composition is basically, it's based off this. So hopefully you have that. You can look over it, see how you did, and figure out where you went wrong if you made any mistakes. All right, so number 15, we're going to use the tables here to do f of g of 8. So I'm going to first start with g of 8. Now make sure you're looking at the x column first to find the 8. And so then the g of x is our y value, and that's what I'm going to write down. So g of 8 is 4. And then I'm going to use that to plug into my f function. So again, go to the x column, find 4. It spits out for the y value also a 4. So f of g of 8 is 4. Let's do g of f of 5. F of 5 is going to be 0. And then g of 0 is going to be 9. Now this one for addition, I'm going to do f of 9 plus g of 9. So f of 9 is going to be 3. G of 9 is going to be 0. Adding those together gives me 3. So f plus g of 9 is 3. Sorry, for b, let me write the final answer here. G of f of 5 is 9. Okay, next one is g of 4 over f of 4. So g of 4 is 1. F of 4 is 4. So g over f of 4 is 1/4. Make sure to simplify if you can. 1/4 cannot, but make sure you simplify if possible. Okay, f of g of 3. So using the table, we have g of 3, which is equal to 4. So f of 4 is going to be 0. So f of g of 3 is 0. F of 1, we're going to start with f of 1, which is 3. Then do f of 3, which is 2. So f of 1 is 2. All right, this one is multiplication. So g of 2 times f of 2. So g of 2 is 0 times f of 2, which is 5. 0 times 5 is 0. So g times f of 2 is 0. Subtraction. F of 4 minus g of 4. F of 4 is 0. Minus g of 4, which is 5, which is negative 5. So f minus g of 4 is negative 5. All right, so that was composition and operations with tables and graphs. Now let's do it with the actual functions. So I'm going to do f of g of x. So I'm going to write down my f of x function, which is here, and put a big box for that x. So I'm going to put in that box, I'm going to put the g of x function, which is 2x squared, squeeze it in here, minus 3x plus 4. Now there's nothing that's multiplying in front or anything having behind it, so I'm going to take off the parentheses and just bring it all down. And then I have my like term. My like terms are 4 and 3. So the answer is 2x squared minus 3x plus 7. All right. This is not factorable, but even if it was factorable, you don't need to factor it. So just leave it like that, even if it were to be factorable. All right, let's do g of f of x. So this one is a little trickier because I'm starting with g. So I'm going to write down the g function, but put boxes for wherever I see x, which actually happens twice. All right, so I'm going to put f of x in the box in parentheses. All right, and then the tricky part here is that you need to expand this binomial first before you multiply by that 2. So I'm going to do 2 times, and then I'm going to expand this, x squared plus 6x plus 9. All right, minus 3, I'm just going to bring it down. I'll distribute in a second, and then plus 4. All right, distribute the 2 now. 2x squared plus 12x plus 18 minus 3x minus 9 plus 4. So combining like terms gives us 2x squared. 12x minus 3x is 9x. 18 minus 9 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. Again, Just take a quick peek. I don't know if it's factorable. Let me think about it. Factors of 26 that add to 9. I don't think it is, but even if it were, don't factor it. No reason to. Leave it like that. All right, last thing I'm going to do on this video is piecewise. All right, so piecewise functions, I'm going to make 3 t-charts. One for my first piece, one for my second piece, and one for my third one. All right, plugging in based on my values here. Values that are less than -2 is -2. I know I'm breaking the rule there. -3, -4, -5. All of those will be the same y value of -4. I want to make sure this one is an open circle. Values that are between -2 and 2 are -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Plugging them into this piece means multiply them by 2. So -4, -2, 0, 2, and 4. These are both going to be closed circles, right? They say or equal to right here. It says or equal to. And last but not least, my last one says greater than 2, so breaking the rule for 2, but then 3, 4, 5. Squaring numbers 4, 9, 16, 25. I will not be able to graph a couple of those, but that's going to be an open circle at 2, 4. All right, so here we go. Plotting. -2, -4 is open. These are closed. So that's going to be a horizontal line right there. Okay, forever. Then I'm going to have -2, -4. Now notice how my closed blue circle is at the same place for my open red one. So it's going to be closed, right? If you have an open and a closed at the same spot, the closed always wins. -1, -2, 0, 0, 1, 2, closed at 2, 4. That's a line, which makes sense. All right, it's a 2x is a line with slope of 2. So I'm going to make the line here. Now, biggest thing I would say is, as we've seen these, is make sure you're not doing any arrows for the middle piece and the last piece. All right, I would do an open circle at 2, 4, right, but it's already closed in there. So I'm just going to leave it like that. 3, 9, and then 4 16s off the grid. Try to make this one a curve, right? Because this is part of a parabola. All right, it's going up and to the right forever. So let's find these values. F of 0 is 0. F of -5 is -4. And F of 3 is 9. All right, so that is it for part 3. Come back to see part 4, which will be about absolute value.